self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I can't believe that I have to say this, but you should not drink Clorox or disinfectant spray, also known as Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for a wonderful, fantastic episode. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. MISTER_on-point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. We are also still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artists, and send it to us that way. And I think we have a few letters, actually.
Yes, speaking of listener letters, we have a couple of letters from Colin and a letter from Michael.
Can't wait to hear the meat phrases.
Yes. Thank you guys for sending us in the letters. This is Colin. Are you listening, Red? Red is taking care of business right now.
I'm here.
Okay.
Fucking dogs, man.
Yeah. What's good, home team? Hope everyone has survived another week safe and sound. Let's get right into it. First, Mr. On Point, I think you might have a new short segment for y'all to get into each week. The Shut the Fuck Up segment. That tirade about conspiracy theories was absolutely fantastic, LOL. You named every single one of them. Speaking of which, I saw this meme and thought it was appropriate for a response to this little segment, and also hilarious. It said, them stimulus checks started hitting and I ain't heard the words 5G in 2 days. No, right? Bro, they weren't hearing about that 5G. The second, fruit flavored things are generally trash. If it's supposed to taste like fruit, I'd rather just have the real thing. Grapes especially. I've had precisely 0 things in my life that are supposed to be grape flavor that are actually good. Just give me some actual grapes. All right, so for some other things, quarantine cooking. Man, I've been getting after it, throwing down some major work in the kitchen. Some things that I've made recently include cornbread muffins from scratch, hamburger helper from scratch, traditional Hawaiian poke, and the pound cake that you saw on Facebook and commented about. Also, homemade snickerdoodle cookies. Had to give a bunch of them hoes away too, so I don't come out of this with none of my jeans fitting. LOL. If folks want the recipes, I'll send them or we can post them on the Facebook page. Listen, I made a pound cake exclusively because you made a pound cake. And that bitch was delicious. That bitch was good, Red. I don't give a fuck. That motherfucker was live. Man, it was good. All right, so for some other things, quarantine cooking. I said that already. Next paragraph. One more thing. Can we talk about the American culture of ignorance? Isaac Asimov said that my ignorance is just as good as your knowledge. The mindset of many Americans, mostly conservatives, possibly. Also, can you comment on the propensity of black folks to believe in conspiracy theories? I have my own theory on it, which is that we've been conditioned over generations, beginning with slavery, to believe in an other to explain our plight. In short, it's institutionalized racism's fault. Lastly, what y'all playing these days? I'm about to wrap up my first playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has been easily in my top 10 games of all time now. Next up, I think I'll play Horizon Zero Dawn. Next time you're on Xbox trying to stream, though, hit me up. I have Apex downloaded as well as Warzone. I'm out. Colin. For the listeners, at CASmith07 on Instagram and Twitter. Laugh out loud. Yeah, go follow Twitter on them things. At CASmith07, Instagram and Twitter.
So first of all, if you hear squeaking, I'm so sorry. I just got home and this fucking dog is like on 10. And I don't want to be yelling at him. So I'm trying to like silently get him to stop.
Yes, she don't want y'all to see how bad she be talking to her dogs, cussing them out. Cussing them out bad. Cussing them out like a dog.
Trying to be nice. So if you hear the squeaking, it's gonna stop. I hope soon. So the conspiracy theory thing, I think that because of all the obvious reasons, Black people are very distrustful of things. And so it's easy to believe that there are these large conspiracies that are going on that we aren't supposed to know about. Because, for the Black community, there has largely been shit that's been going on that was purposely being done. So I think it's just maybe like a natural distrust that we've kind of garnered. I mean, rightfully so. I'm not saying we should not be, but that's what I always think of, especially when I hear like older people and feeling like all of this, oh my God, Remy. Just that's what I think though, is that we just have a natural distrust just because of a lot of things that have happened.
I think that's a part of it. But you know, I equate it to the situation where you was out of the room and you walked into the room and everybody looked at you and you know some shit was going on about you behind the scenes, but you don't quite know. And I think that is the essence of white America. Like white America been making plans and plotting against everybody outside of them for the longest. So when Black people or Latinos walk in the room, white people just looking at them like, don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the idea that, man, there must be some plans behind the scenes that are, you know, going to impact us, you know, make it a lot easier for that. So that goes along from my perspective with Collins' theory that it's institutional racism fault. Every goddamn thing is institutional racism fault. Matter of fact, that's just what it is. Institutional racism that caused every goddamn problem that we got. And it's ridiculous. And what I wonder about racism, Red, is how inherent what's going on in America is to white people. Or if we were the ones who discovered America and got to this point, would we have done the same thing? Now, we know Native Americans would not have, because Native Americans welcomed white people when they came over here.
They did.
So what would our propensity be to not white folks that thing? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll never know.
I mean, is it the power? Is it the power that, you know, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. So is it having that power what makes you go down that pathway? I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting for a conversation if y'all want to have it.
It is. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because even like poor white people, I can't even say that it's, I was gonna, you know, talk about like the monarchy and the split and all that, but even poor white people be out here white people, and so I don't know.
They do, man. That they were convinced that they were better than Black people, even though they are just struggling.
They can literally be struggling more than a Black person, literally economically have less and still think.
I mean, that ain't even it. We talking about like just, you know, on the scale, one tipping a little bit. The lowest white person can really believe that they're better than a Black person that has significantly more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you a rich nigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you are.
What did Jay-Z say? Still nigga.
Yeah.
Still nigga.
I'm not Black, I'm OJ.
Okay. Pretty much. Food, game wise.
Hold on. Talking about the American culture of ignorance. He asked about the American culture of ignorance. So this is what he said. One more thing, can we talk about the American culture of ignorance? Isaac Asimov said, my ignorance is as good as your knowledge, mindset of many Americans, mostly conservatives. I think that we have a society of mostly not smart people. I think the smart people stand out, but at the end of the day, most people have a problem processing, have a problem using past knowledge for future experiences, and a lot of people just haven't been convinced about the importance of evidence and being able to follow through on things. Now, if you go to a farmer and you can ask him when his crops mess up, you can ask him what he did to fix that, and he'll say, I did something different. But when it comes to like these ideals, within America, I don't understand how they don't see what's working and what's not working. I guess a big part of it is propaganda. A big part of it is like you put a big poster on the board that say, hey, nothing's wrong, life is good, everything is the way it should be. And people read that and be like, yeah, that's right. Everything is right, life is good, everything is as it should be. You know?
I think of America as that meme. I don't know if you've seen it. where the dog is sitting in the building and it's burning down around him, and he's like, everything's fine. This is fine.
Yeah.
I think it's the hubris of America. Like, I had a conversation with a guy from Nigeria. It was on a dating site, and that did not last. But anyway, before it crashed and burned.
Nigerians don't fuck around.
Yeah. Before it crashed and burned, I was asking him about his perspective of America, having grown up in Nigeria. He's only been here since he was in his late 20s, I think he said. And he said it's not the America that they see in their country, which it's not. The facade that we put out to the rest of the world about like what it's like to live here, how much we have and all that, it's just that. It's a facade. And I think that a lot of people, and I mean, if you talk to people from other countries, they think that Americans are really arrogant and dumb.
Hey, America is like Joker without his makeup on. You know, in the Batman with Bane in it. Mm-hmm. Not Bane, but the Batman with the Joker in it. Clearly, it was a scene where he was a guard. He was just like a police officer with no makeup on, and nobody knew who he was. That's America. You know, but when America put that makeup on, goddamn, you know some shit finna go down. And when you over here, you realize that America got that makeup on and it's fucking shit up. Except America ain't as chaotic as Joker. America is more organized and really methodical about how they fucking people over, and much more subtle about it. You know, they ain't walking up to black folks' house, knocking on the door and saying, "We gonna fuck y'all over. Y'all ain't finna get no health care in this community." You know, they create a system, make you believe that you're getting everything that everybody else is getting, don't give it to you, and then tell everybody that you got it. Yeah. Like that's what's happening in America. They convince the haves that the have-nots have too. and if the have-nots don't have, it's because they haven't done as much as you to get what you have.
Yep. So it's that hubris, I feel like. So that's the culture of ignorance. Like, we don't feel like we have to. It doesn't have to be factual. I'm America. It's America. America. That's all you need to know. Today, we're recording this on Monday. Today is fucking Confederate Memorial Day, which I didn't know because I don't give a fuck about that shit at all. I feel like that's a white person's holiday. But anyway. And I could just imagine the levels of fuckery and Confederate flags and shit that went on today. I didn't obviously go anywhere because of Rona, but it's just things like that's not shown. Like, bullshit like that isn't shown. And so I feel like because we hide our hand a lot, it gives us this sense of arrogance. And I think that's where some of the ignorance comes from. We don't feel like we have to because America. You learn English. We don't need to learn. We don't teach, push learning other languages because America. You just need to know how to speak English. That's fucking it. Meanwhile, you have all these people that come over here from these other countries that are fluent in 4 or 5 languages. Not even just English. They learn for the sake of learning. We don't have that here.
And they come over here and they be like, black people are complaining. They're not doing anything. They are complaining. They have not learned any more languages. They have not put themselves up by them bootstraps and started to work hard. And they complain. That is all they do. I came over here with nothing. I left 17 goats to come to America for the dream that I like. And you know what? I have it. I have a gas station. My children don't have to work. My brother has a restaurant. And these black people are just coming in here, eating, high, drunk. And they have the audacity to complain.
I'm not going to do this.
That's how them Africans be coming over here bullshitting. I talked to a girl. I met a girl who said that when she first came over here, all she thought that was black people was complaining. That's all she thought. Because they didn't know. They thought there was no racism in America. That's how fucked up like the propaganda is
It is.
To that. They say she thought there was no racism here. And when she got here, she heard black people screaming, "Hey, racism." And she looked around and she saw people in the mall working together, black and white people working together. She saw black and white people shopping together. She saw, like, aesthetically, she see black and white people doing all the same shit. But it takes really living here and having this experience to understand what microaggressions mean and what they do.
Systemic. Yeah, it's within the system. So you're not going to just be able to visually look at it all the time. Sometimes it is visual, but it's systemic.
But she said it took her a while to see it, and she's still kind of trying to understand it. But like, we live that shit, and
the daily.
And unfortunately, it's what it is. We got it. I don't think we can untie this knot. We just gotta wait for the aliens to come down here, learn about our entire culture, realize that everybody been done wrong except white people, and then kill them.
Shit.
I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying.
My God.
If some unexplained force. I'm sorry. If some unexplained force came here and objectively looked at the groups that have been wronged here, bro, some people gonna die. A lot of Africans gonna die. To be honest. A lot of Africans gonna die because they be over there wilding out, boy. They got 10-year-olds with golden AK-47s looking for blood diamonds. Like, white people ain't gonna be the only ones that die because a lot of people done some fucked up shit, but I don't think there's no scenario where African Americans die, goddamn. Not as a culture. Now, if they go pick select groups of people, it's gonna be rich white people gonna die. Poor white people gonna die. Middle class white people gonna survive. Because the poor white people too racist. They too racist for nothing. They don't even got no reason to be racist. Like, we should team up. The hood black people that are violent gonna die. Drug dealers gonna die. Sedity black people that's trying to be like the white people, rich white people gonna die. Latinos that don't want other Latinos to have a citizenship gonna die. Asian community that prey off of the black community and Latino community gonna die. Man, I'm just talking shit. This conversation sounds so bad coming from me. But it is what it is.
He's gonna stop. But
y'all playing? What you playing?
Right now I'm playing the shit out of The Sims 4. Don't know why. I was 100% against playing any game that was not The Sims 2 in the Sims franchise because that was the best one to me. I don't even know how the fuck I started playing Sims 4. Don't know. But I have downloaded The Sims 4 and a bunch of the expansion packs and have been playing the shit out of this one. I made a family and I'm trying to play through Generations. And that is mostly what I've been playing lately. I never even finished the Darksiders game because I picked this up and then I hadn't picked up Darksiders since. I'll get back to it.
Damn. So you haven't finished Darksiders?
No. I got pretty far before I got the Sim. And I'll get tired of the Sims. I did that with Sims 2. I play it like oversaturate myself with it and then get tired of it. Listen, people that do not get why folks play The Sims, everybody that like has that attitude of you're just watching people go to the bathroom. That is not what it is. It is so much more intricate than that. There's so much more that you can do. You can destroy these little people's lives. You can help them make their lives really great. You can have, lines of families. It's hard to explain because it isn't a traditional win-lose. You don't win at The Sims. So I think a lot of people, for that reason, are like, I don't get it. How is there a game that you don't win at? You don't win. There is no end point. It's whatever it is that you decide to do is completely open-ended, which is why I like it. But that's what I've been playing.
A lot of people don't like them loot progress based games, and that's like you don't loot in The Sims, but it's a progress based game
It is.
where you level up and you can unlock more things the more levels you get and things like that. People like that kind of achievement and accomplishment, even if it's in what some people will regard as very just simple.
The Sims is a $1 billion game. Like it's in its fourth iteration. And one of the games has like I don't even know how many expansion packs, but EA makes a shit ton of money off of this game. Let me just say that. And it's still a very popular game to where they're looking at a Sims 5 already, and they're still making expansion packs for 4. It's a very popular game.
Well,
Even
I'm
though
playing.
people like to talk shit about it.
Well, I'm playing Minecraft. I picked Minecraft back up, and it's just a loot farming game. Loot farming, kind of dungeon hunting type game. But Minecraft, if it looks really, really simple, it looks really maybe cheap, but it is a masterful developmental game. It's just on the development side, it's so many things you can do in Minecraft that people have no idea you can do. It's not just, digging up blocks. The only thing that you overtly can't do is make a circle because everything is square. But like there's so many developmental related things. Like it's redstone you can find in it, and you can make like things electric, and it's just so many things you can do. I'm going to get out of it soon because it ended up just being the 3 hour wasted time. So you get a little bit done, but not as much as other people. So if you go start looking at YouTube videos and see what other people got going on, it make your little shit look stupid. I'm also playing, clearly I play Apex Legends still, and I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone, which I love. Man, they did a hell of a job with that game. It looks good. It sounds good. The footsteps and stuff aren't as defined as on other Battle Royale games. I think they really want you to use the UAVs and the things that they have in the game to detect people being around. I don't think they just want you to just hear their footsteps. So it's really easy to get ambushed in that game without knowing somebody was around. But I really like it. I also playing State of Decay 2. They had a big update on it and added a new game component to it. It's basically a zombie survival game, but it's less zombie and more collecting. So you've got to collect ammo, medicine, food, and supplies. And you find this area, like in the last game I played, I found this ballpark, and it had all of these little spots where you could build like a medical center or a carport. But you've got to find people in the game that's going to be able to run those moments. So somebody might call you on the radio and be like, "Hey, I need help," and you go help them, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a doctor and I need somewhere to live. Can I come live with y'all?" And you can upgrade your facilities and stuff. So it's like finding a place to live, finding survivors, bringing the survivors in where you live, and then going out amidst these zombies to try to like destroy they like plague hearts, which is the thing that make them spawn. And it's really just interesting, fun, slow paced, move at your own speed type of game, and I like it. This is the kind of game I play when I'm on the phone and I just don't really have to be doing shit, but I can go collect shit. That and Minecraft versus you can't play Call of Duty or Apex and be on the phone and stuff like that because it mess up. But you finna play Horizon Zero Dawn. If you haven't played that game yet, bro, that is an experience. That is a good ass, fun ass, cool ass game. I don't know. It's just a great game. I have a second Xbox that I'm gonna put in my computer room or in my office where my computers are, but I'm waiting to get a something from Amazon that's gonna allow me to put my monitors up on some swivel arms so that I have more desk space, and I'm gonna start streaming more to the on the Xbox when I do that, and I'll make sure I holler at you as soon as I can for that, Colin. But thanks for the letter. The name of it, Red, is Meet, Love, and Pray. Pray is Prey.
Okay. All right.
All right. Now let's go to Colin's next letter. It is Meet Me Halfway. What's good, y'all? Hope Red likes this week's Meet inspired title. I'm making an estimation by saying meet me halfway, as I think we're probably only approaching the halfway point of general safety with social distancing and the spread and rise of the pandemic. Anyway, let's get into this week's letter. First, in response to Michael, shouts out to my guy. If I ever make it over to UK, we're definitely going out for a pint and swapping stories until pubs close down for the evening. Point one, shaving legs. Smoothness is better than stubble, so either shave it clean or grow it and leave it alone. The stubble is the worst part. I'm otherwise indifferent. I've never seen a woman and decided that I didn't want to smash because she had hairy legs, armpit, nether regions, etc. Smashing gets smashing gets smashing, and all women are beautiful. Anal bleaching. I mean, I guess it's a porn thing because they want that perfectly pink butthole for white actresses. Another one, don't care. Never seen a butthole and wished it was bleached. Now on to some other stuff. Same as last week. Same as last week. What y'all playing? Streets of Rage 4 comes out this week. Coming up, Mr. On Point. If you're planning on picking it up for Xbox, I'll see you online. I'm getting it for PS4, Switch, and Xbox. I might actually take you up on that offer, just because you're getting it and I could play it with you. I didn't grow up on Streets of Rage 4. When I was a kid, we got a Super Nintendo and we had Mario. And the first moment my mama was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get y'all a game. What game do y'all want?" Me and my brother went into Walmart and we chose Pilot Wings.
What?
A flying game. Yeah,
I know
like
what it is. Why?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. We didn't have any game direction. We didn't have people in our life that helped us understand what the good games were. And then the next game we got after that was Home Alone 2.
My nigga. What?
And then after that we got Crash Dummies.
What
And then
is
after that
wrong
we
with
got
y'all?
Bubsy.
What are these choices?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. I wish I could
I
tell
don't
you.
even know Home Alone had a fucking game on Super Nintendo.
It did. And I don't remember my mama saying y'all can't get nothing violent. I just remember me and my brother chose Pilot Wings and all them other games subsequently. It was stupid. I don't know why. It's like when I went over all my friends' house, they had the good games, and we came back home and played Crash Dummies. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they become those like cult classic games that you love because nobody, you know, and it's like, oh, I remember playing this game, but nobody else knows. Nobody else remembers because they didn't play no fucking Crash Dummies. They didn't buy it.
I don't even know what that is.
Our dumbass did. Okay, let's move. You ever have a neighbor? Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I was just gonna, because the only thing that I'm playing is The Sims.
Okay, well, we'll continue.
I wanted to say something else about The Sims, though.
Oh, what's up?
Another thing that I don't think people get about The Sims is you can 100% play The Sims as like a regular human going about doing your humanly things, but they have all these other things. There's a bunch of different life states that you could be. They have vampires, they have wizards, witches, I don't know whatever you want to call them, mermaids, ghosts. There's all kind of shit. So it isn't, I don't know, it's not as simple as I think a lot of people think that it is. There's a lot more to it, especially when you start adding the expansion packs. But I digress. Go ahead.
All right. You ever have a neighbor doing some dumb shit like mine is right now? Tree trimming at 8 a.m. on a Saturday when I'm trying to enjoy my morning coffee. Trash. I'm loving being a homeowner, man. I'm working on a project right now. I'm making every single light in my house controllable by Siri, smart switches, and dimmers. I already automated my outdoor lights so they come on at sunset and turn off at 10:30 every day. This kind of stuff is so fun. Highly recommended to everyone who can afford to buy their own home, however small. Also, totally an advocate for not buying more than you need. My house is about 1,200 square feet and it's plenty. As I get through the rest of the pod for the week, I'll write again if I have anything else to say. Love y'all. Stay healthy. Keep it up. And we're all in this pandemic together. Meet positivity forever. Colin.
Oh, great. Okay. To answer your question, I had the exact same situation, but except for my neighbor wasn't cutting limbs off early in the morning. He was cutting limbs off and putting them shits in my yard. So, yes, I have had neighbors do. And that's the only thing that, since I moved into this house, that I've had to deal with. He did finally get it moved. My cousin did not have to go over there for, if you heard, I talked about it on the show, My cousin did not have to go over there. At the very last fucking moment that he possibly could, he did finally move the limbs out of my yard, and nothing else has been placed in my yard since. So hopefully we got an understanding now, and this motherfucker won't do that again, but who the fuck knows? And as far as home ownership, I just don't even know. So when I moved in this house, probably within, I don't even know, maybe 2 weeks, the dishwasher went out. If I owned this house or if I was buying this house, that would be some shit I had to fix. In renting this house, that was some shit they had to fix. And I got a brand new dishwasher. And I know that people look at renting as kind of throwing away money because it's not invested into anything. You don't own the property, but I just ain't there yet. I'm not there yet. I'd much rather play rent than mortgage on top of any of the things that go wrong in having a home. That terrifies me. I feel like I would go get a house, it would be my house, and then some major shit would like fuck up and then I would have to pay for. And I just, not there yet. But I do recommend house living. I love living in this house. It's much better than an apartment. I love it. I don't think I could live in an apartment again. I hope I don't ever have to. It's going to be difficult to go from this to that. But I'm okay renting.
Okay. I have no idea when my credit score is going to allow me to rent. I'm working on it, but goddamn, coming up from that deficit is not easy.
Allow you to rent or buy? You rent now.
Buy. Well, maybe rent too. Hell, I ain't renting. I'm living in somebody's house.
Well, before you were renting an apartment.
I gotta look. When I first started my own company, I had so many clients. I mean, DHR was like, 2 black men? Send them all the clients. Send them all the black kids. And they were paying different. They were paying twice as much as Medicaid pays us now. And so, like, when I came to live in my apartment, not only did I have a bunch of money, but my business partner, I just had him write to them that I make a certain amount. I told him, he wrote that I make $4,000 a month. Shit. Which I was making more than that at that time. But now I'm not. The landscape of counseling has changed. The way that they pay is different. So there's a lot of things that changed that kind of reduced that situation. But it was more so that I just had if your credit score don't suit it, then you gotta make a certain amount of income. You gotta make like 3.5 times the rent. Mm-hmm. And so I meet that qualification, not necessarily the score. So I don't know. I'm working on it. If anybody got some tips on how to work on it besides be wealthy, let me know. I am at the phase in my loan neglect that they're sending me negotiation letters. Like, look, man, look.
We'll take this.
I'll suck your dick for something. Anything. Come on. Okay, you owe us $50,000. We'll take 13. I got a letter like that. I'm like, nigga, y'all can do better then. I'm gonna wait till the next person buy it from your ass and let them do better. I do not suggest being irresponsible to the point that it helps you out. It is not. The uncertainty is not helpful.
It is very, yeah.
It is. It's not. It's unsavory. All right. Well, appreciate that, Colin. Now we got a letter from Michael. And Michael, at the beginning of this letter, is putting me in a situation where I gotta try my British accent out here.
Why?
I'm
you don't
gonna
have
do
to
it.
You don't
I'm
fucking
gonna
have to
do it.
But
I don't
why?
have to.
It's
I don't
terrible.
I don't have to have on clothes right now. I could be butt naked doing this podcast with you on the camera.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I'm just saying I could.
Okay, but you didn't, so maybe this is something that you shouldn't do as well.
I'm going to do it.
Fuck.
It's just a little bit.
You always do Cockney, and I feel like that's...
So should I not do Cockney?
Don't do Cockney. I feel like it's somehow like insulting. I don't know if that's insulting to them or not, but I would be insulted.
It's like using Ebonics on us. It's like one of them being like, No, slave language. That old slave language. Hey, sir, how you doing there?
So don't use Cockney then.
You want a little bit of butter spread on your cornbread, sir?
Christ.
Let me go get the butter spread and knife.
Don't do that then. Don't do Cockney.
No Cockney. I'm gonna try. All right, mate. Easy, geez. Thought I'd do you both a lemon this week. Whack some choice local vocab your way. How's about it? Sorry if I'm being a bit rough on the old melon. I'll sort you out some primo translation. Work sharpish, don't you worry. Translation. Hi, Red. Hello, Mr. On Point. As a treat, I thought I'd send you information on some of my favorite British slang. Does that sound good? Sorry if my choice of phrase is hard to parse. I'll do a good job of translating shortly. No offense taken on the fizzy drinks bit, by the way. I was laughing along at home. Don't worry. I always try to minimize the amount of Britishy words and phrases in my email, so it always makes me chuckle when I've missed gets everyone confused. Now, for your general amusement, please find below some other British words that sounded like a slightly inebriated child made them up. That British wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it wasn't. But because you didn't do the Cockney accent,
all I can think of is Dick Van Dyke bullshitting on top of that roof with them chimney sweeps. That's all I be thinking of when I be trying. All right. That bullshit. All right. Okay. Fizzy drinks are soda, any brand. Candy is sweeties.
I thought it was sweets.
No, sweeties.
Huh. I wonder. I've always heard them say sweets.
Sweeties.
Okay.
Stickies are hard candy. Little bit old fashioned now, a bit posh. Stickies.
That's okay.
Bruh. It's crazy because the way it's defined is based on its property. Like that's how a kid would name it. Like once when you eat a piece of sticky candy and you take it out your mouth, it's sticky. Like a Jolly Rancher is sticky. It's like they're defining it based off of the quality it has. The same as fizzy drinks. It's literally fizzy. Like if you open it up wrong, you'd be like, "Oh, fizzy drink." You know what I'm saying? Like, din-dins. That's evening meal, mostly in the North, used toward family members and pets.
That really sounds like a kid.
Gobby, yeah, din-din. Din-din. Like, hungry mommy, din-din. Or that's how a grown-up talk to a kid before they can speak. Be like, want some din-din? Want some din-din? Hungry? Gobby, loud and rude.
Gobby.
Yeah.
Okay.
With your old gobby ass. I don't know how they use it. Ninny is a foolish person. I wonder if that got something to do. I wonder if pick a ninny got something to do with that.
It's ninny. You said nini. It's a ninny.
I said ninny.
You said nini.
What did I say? Ninny or nini?
You
tell me what I said.
Okay. Ninny is what you
Ninny.
Ninny.
You want me to pronounce these words properly?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I forgot to say the title of this post. Let me go back up. Scottish bollocks and polyamorous brummies.
Okay.
All right. Wazzocks or wazzocks are breasts. I think it's wazzocks. I guess it would say wazzocks are breasts. Okay. Nice pair of wazzocks on you. I wonder if you probably wouldn't say it to a woman. It's probably you say it to your homeboys and they welly. He put in quotations with welly equals with forced enthusiasm.
Like fake, being fake.
I don't know.
Forced enthusiasm sounds fake.
It says with force or enthusiasm. It's like if you're doing
with
something
force or enthusiasm. Oh, okay. Thought you said with forced enthusiasm.
I don't know how you use that. Let me see. Wellies are galoshes. Dodgy means dangerous or sketchy.
I've heard that before.
Brawly is an umbrella. Bollocks are testicles. Particulars are testicles. Allens are testicles. Minerals are testicles. Knackers are testicles. Clackers are testicles. Clackers also means quickly. And bollocks also means very good. And bollocks also means very bad. And bollocks also means lies.
Okay.
Toddlers are testicles again and also lies.
Toddlers?
Bollocks is also courage, and bollocks is also delicious. How can bollocks be all them things?
We have plenty of words that mean 50 lemon things depending on how you use it. Don't do
God,
that.
I guess you're right. I mean, the word bad itself. Bad can mean good. Bad can mean bad. Bad can mean real bad.
Yeah.
Bad can mean pretty good. But it means delicious and courage and lies and testicles, balls. I don't know how you get there. Getting a bollocking is getting yelled at. Dropped a bollock means made a mistake. Completely bollocksed is very drunk and completely ruined and done incorrectly. Knackered is sleepy, and Trump is fart.
Trump?
Trump.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, Trump is fart. And finally, Brummy is someone from Birmingham.
We would be Brummies. Not really. We're not from Birmingham.
Not this Birmingham.
I know.
Real Birmingham.
The real Birmingham. This is real Birmingham too.
Oh,
That's the British version.
This ain't. I mean, this is a Birmingham. You think they named this shit out of the blue? That Birmingham
They
was
named it
first.
after British Birmingham.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. Have we ever told
Birmingham.
Michael that we live in Birmingham? Does he know that we live in a city called Birmingham?
We done mentioned Birmingham on the podcast. I think he know where we live at. I think he know we done mentioned it plenty of times.
Yeah. I feel like we say Alabama a lot, but we specifically live in Birmingham.
Also, there are apparently little turns of phrase that I don't even think of as being uniquely British that are still totally incomprehensible. I guess bright spark doesn't translate, which is a sarcastic way of saying smart person. Like, right, some bright spark has clearly bollocked this right up. Well, don't just stand there, you great ninny. Come help me ship this lot, and you can give me some welly while you're at it, I ask you. So I'm going to try to terminate this, right? Some smart motherfucker clearly done fucked this shit up, which is sarcasm because he ain't really smart. He fucked it up. Well, don't just stand there, you great ninny, which is a dumb motherfucker. Come help me fix this shit, and you can give it some fucking force while you at the shit, I ask you. He basically saying, come help me fix this shit, and you better put some goddamn energy to it. Put some back into it. I ask you is like, motherfucker. I mean, you can help me with that translation, Michael, if you feel like it. I feel like any British person would understand that, although there's plenty of area-specific slang words that a Brummie could use so that a Cockney couldn't understand what subject they were even on, or vice versa. Somehow, I think that garbled mess would parse whatever you said it. I guess that'll be like a black person going into the suburbs and be like and say something that's completely black slang for something that they don't know nothing about. Like, I mean, in current rap, a gun is a stick. So if you were in front of some dudes that, you know, you were hanging out with and two black dudes wanted to rob them, you know, you could literally say in front of them, hey, should we get the stick? You know, or something like that, that will make them, like, the people be like, huh, what are you talking about, a stick? And just because the language barrier is different, it could turn out bad for a person. Or not only that, but other things like with fashion, by saying things like we've always had language that white people have come to try to adopt, the same way they adopt babies from fucking Africa. They stay trying to adopt our language, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't even really say shit. It got to be real new for white people not to know what it is, or they got to be really affluent white people who don't connect to the black experience. You know what I'm saying? Like saying something is fly means, I know what it means, you know what it means, and white people who pick up on the language know what it means, but like a rich white person ain't gonna probably know what fly means in that regard. But I guess that would be the difference between how a Brahmin would use language that Cockney wouldn't understand or whatever. And don't get me started on the fucking Scottish. It's like being chased down and beaten with a dictionary stuffed full of broken glass and extra apostrophes. Also, and it's not used so much outside the east end of London, but orchestras means testicles. Okay. One for Mr. On Point. All the best with the new way of looking at love. We've known a few poly people in various configurations over the years, and there are a lot of unique challenges facing you when you find yourself moving down that road. That said, when it works, it seems like a great way to live your life. There's a big difference between a way of living like polyamory and something like swinging, which I see as more of a hobby. I mean, some people practically make it a lifestyle, but the same's true of Star Wars. Doesn't mean it's not a hobby. Most swingers and people in open relationships, for that matter, that I've known have been in traditional two-person couples. I think what Red was saying is in the last episode, though, was representative for most people in two-person relationship. The distinction isn't really super important unless it comes up for you personally, either through your own romantic experience or through friends. If you know just one person who's poly, though, you still only know that person. The difference between poly and open relationships is important when talking about a broader context, but from Red's perspective, poly might as well be called Mr. On Point's love life. It's a case study of one, and maybe if you define parameters for the different types of non-monogamous romantic relationships up front, if things fall out of those rules, it can get confusing later on. And humans being humans, we tend to gray area even the rules we set for ourselves over time. That is all as long as if in future you end up saying, I can't believe she cheated on me, that nobody says, isn't that the whole point? If that happens, I think you're clear to flip a table or two. Stay safe and don't drink bleach, Michael.
No worries. And that is an accurate representation of how I look at it. It is Mr. On Point's love life as opposed to polyamory.
But
that's accurate.
But when I say polyamory, it's clear that I mean the way I interpret it. It's not me trying to put a mass definition on it because it means 50 different things to 50 different people. And so what makes it important to me is that the people around me understand the context of what I'm in, if they're ever going to be around it or ask questions about it or be in a context where we have the conversation about it. That's the essence of kind of what I was hinting at, not really trying to define it for the masses and whatnot, but defining it for the people who are going to interact with me, knowing that dynamic exists and whatnot. But that being said, I appreciate you, Michael, for that letter. And yeah. You want to close it out, Red?
Yep. If you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it to us that way.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Red won't be a part of this half of the show. She's had a pretty long day at work, and she obliged me by doing the show this late. It's like 10 o'clock, a couple of hours before we released the show when we started this episode. So I'm going to finish it up, and we're just going to, talk about some stuff and see what's on my mind for a little bit. Again, I appreciate you calling and Michael for writing those letters in. Let's get to the rest of this. So I'm going to start this off with some viral posts and just give you my thoughts on some of them, all right? Okay. My wife left me home alone with the kids to go out drinking with her friends. A lesser man might whine and complain, but instead I'm just playing Chumbawamba's 1997 hit Tub Thumping over and over and over on the jukebox at their bar using the Touch Tones app. Oh, that is petty as fuck. So apparently this bar that they went to has a app on the phone that you can, control the music through. And the text conversation is, yeah, about to get another round. You drinking a whiskey drink or a vodka drink? Margarita. Awesome. That bath sucked. The kids kept thumping the tub. Sorry, honey. I got them down, but then they got up again. Wait, what the fuck? Are you doing this? So apparently, this man's wife done went drinking, and he, in the diabolical genius format, has impacted her experience by playing the same song over and fucking over. And I have no idea what that song is. I don't know what a Chumbawamba is, and I don't know what Tub Thumping is, but it must be a pretty irritating song to be one that you choose to play over and over and over again. All right, next one. White women have been calling black women Shanae, LaQuisha, and Shaniqua in a demeaning manner since the 80s. Latinas were called Consuela, Guadalupe, or Maria, and Asian women were called Ling Ling. But they can't handle being called Karen for 11 months. We'll get to Karen in a minute. But definitely, you know, white people have what seems like a patent on calling people snowflakes. And every time something come up they don't like, they complain about it. It's kind of like the, I guess the idea of Republicans. Republicans act like they don't like spending money, but they spend just as much money as the Democrats try to spend it on. They just spend it on the things that they care about, you know? So it's like when it don't impact you, you love it. When it do impact you, you hate it. And that's what's going on with the Karen situation, but we'll get to that later. My cat is in heat, and she keeps yodeling for the D. Sis, we don't beg in this house. Eat some catnip and vibe, baby girl. These boys ain't shit. This woman named Pat responds, she needs masturbation. Simply massage left and right dimples at the base of her tail. She will groan and even squirt sometimes. Mike responded, someone needs to take her cat away. Yeah, that is a little bit TMI, and it's a problem. Why are you telling people that you do your cat like this? That's not a good thing. But some people fool with their cats so much so that they do stuff like that. Kind of like the story we talked about where the guy was masturbating his son because his son was mentally ill. I mean, those things are problems. But, you know, some people going to do what some people going to do. Next one. Donald Trump. Not only will injecting disinfectant kill the virus, but you can also spray 3 ounces of Windex in your eyes to help with your vision. Follow me for more recipes. This is clearly an edited tweet of Donald J. Trump, but it plays on the idea that Donald Trump told people to do some crazy things to their body this week. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The next one. I don't know if y'all knew that Land O'Lakes got rid of the Native American that was on their butter. But this post says Land O'Lakes got rid of the Native American on their butter, but they kept the land. Some things never change. That is a burn for your ass. That is crazy. Because that's exactly what happened in America. They got rid of Native Americans and they kept the damn land. It's, you know, foreshadowing at its finest, if you will. Next one. If I've learned one thing during this pandemic is that women can look sexy as hell in masks. I just can't tell if it's because they look like nurses or because subconsciously it makes you think they won't talk as much. You know, I am a big talker myself. I've never really been a quiet person in my adult life. When I was young, I don't know if y'all know, but I've talked about it on the podcast. I think I was very quiet. I really didn't speak until I was 23, like in a substantial manner. In my high school career, I was nominated for the quietest kid in the school for 3 years running. And so I've never, so after that period, I've never been one to shy away from words and dialogue and conversation. I just have never experienced a woman that talks in a way that's unpleasant, as most men talk about when it comes to the jokes about, you know, women talking and women nagging and things of that nature. So I guess I don't get it in terms of that case, but I guess for the men, fill me in. How many of the women that you talk to and that you've dated talk unnecessarily and it's a problem for you? It's been a problem for you to the point that, you know, most of your interactions with women have been problems. Let me know, fill me in, because I don't really have a big base of comparison for that. Next post. Now that I've lived during a plague, I get why most Renaissance paintings are of chubby women laying around with their boobs out. Because a lot of women are laying around with their boobs out right now. That goes back to that post last week where we talked about the dude who said, women, it's about time you change that bra. Bruh, they don't have bras on right now. Trust me. That ain't working like that right now. Next, I owe the Jurassic Park franchise an apology. It is in fact very realistic that the rich would reopen a park in spite of it consistently resulting in a mass death. Clearly, we're going to have to get back to work, right? And I just don't know what evidence people are saying that we should get back to work right now I don't know what evidence is being used to make now the moment to do that. People are literally just saying, well, we got to open back up. We need to open back up. But what's the evidence? I mean, we aren't using the numbers. We aren't deciding, like doctors have said opening up ain't a good idea. And Trump and a lot of governors are saying, well, we should open back up. But there's no evidence behind us opening back up. Now, again, in America fashion, America's half-assing this shit. And not really, like right now, we could have been coming up with all kinds of strategies to open back up in terms of how we going to keep this thing at bay. But literally, our state and Georgia just said, well, we going to open back up. They ain't got no mask requirements. They don't have anything. I mean, I think that the federal government kind of suggested some things specifically, but everybody's not going to follow that, right? So at the end of the day, we got to open back up at some times. I don't think we've done the work to know that right now is the best way to open up. And I guess the best way then is going to be to open up and see what happened to the people that are bold enough to be out there like it wasn't nothing ever happened. Next, if you're on Reddit, you might find a post, it's r/TIFU. That means today I fucked up. Well, this one is today I fucked up by slapping my wife in the face with my dong. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so to preface this, my wife and I live alone in our apartment. We also have this weird game of slapping each other with random things while the other is busy. The other day she got me with a tampon, which is a bit gross, but whatever. Today I decided it was time for revenge. I got out of the shower, dried off, and looked for her. I saw she was on the computer with headphones on. I snuck in from the side and boom, dick slap square on the cheek. She never stood a chance. I stood there expectantly waiting for her to laugh or some sort of reaction, but then she just turned to me white in the face and just said, I'm on a call. I thought she was joking maybe, but just winding me up, but then I look at her screen and see several gobsmacked coworkers with my wife, only one of which I'd ever met. I immediately ran out of the room and now I'm typing this from the bathroom. I'm scared that I'm going to be reported for some kind of domestic abuse and I don't even know how to explain to them the situation because it's so stupid. Too long didn't read, slapped my wife with my dong and now I'm going to have to leave the country. Oh my goodness. Like, this shit's happening. Like, Colin, posted a video of several people being caught on camera doing crazy stuff during this time. And I'm pretty sure it's many, many more than that. But this will take the cake because first off, I love to have the kind of relationship where I know I can just randomly walk up and slap my wife in the face with my dick and it's just going to be all fun and games. Like, that would be cool. I would never do that to my wife. But just knowing that a relationship is playful enough that we can throw things at each other and it's this ongoing game, I kind of like that concept. Just like when you see those posts where a woman will have a note that'll be like, I'm hiding around the house somewhere and she got a Nerf gun on there and she'd be like, we finna have a Nerf war. I like stuff like that. It represents the playfulness in relationships and those little things that keeps the relationship thriving because you're doing something different consistently and whatnot. So at the end of the first part of this is I like that, the essence of that. But then I guess the essence of that too can possibly get you to a point where you're so nonchalant about how to screen yourself from doing this in an inappropriate manner that you might run up on moments where you do this when it's not good. Like, what if he did this not when she was on the phone with her people? What if he did it when she was angry or something, or frustrated, and he just, like, imagine being frustrated women and your dude come and just slap you in the face with his meat. Even if you would normally laugh, that is just, it may take you to the wrong place. So but then again, he got hit with a tampon. I don't know if it was a used tampon. He said, which is a bit gross, but whatever. So it only makes sense to be a used tampon if it's gross, and if he thinks that the equal to that is slapping somebody in the face with his penis. That's different, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts on the story? Last one. I think I did this one last week actually. Walked in a room full of white people and everybody got quiet. Oh, so y'all been in here saying nigger. And that just goes to a dialogue about the conversations that white people have when black people ain't around. And racism, at least overt racism, like saying the N-word is, it's just a representation of your idea about a group of people. Shouldn't say it if you don't want people to believe that you feel a certain type of way about those people. That is not a good way to think about those people or not. So let's get to some things that we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about Karen. Apparently, the word Karen is a problem. Just the word Karen is a problem. Because Karen has been used for some time to represent a, privileged white woman who always want to go and talk to the manager, and she got a bob haircut, and she got a mixed kid named Jaden. And, there's been these specific things where white women have been deeply generalized by, people, black people mostly, and been used in an offensive way, and a lot of white women have come out and equated Karen to the N-word. And the only thing I got to say to that is, Karen, sit the fuck down. Okay? Karen is just a playful way to say that your ass is doing too goddamn much. And you know what? If you're not a white woman who does too much, then you're not going to be called Karen. Subsequently, your desire to not be called Karen falls under the definition of doing too damn much. Hence, creating a situation where we can't help but call you Karen. Karen, say less. Do less. Maybe even be less entitled and privileged at least. And you won't have to worry about being called Karen, all right? Karen is not rooted in oppression. Karen is not rooted in pain and hurt. Karen is just rooted in you and the Karens like you doing too goddamn much. So chill the fuck out and you'll be fine. Now, I don't know. I mean, maybe this dialogue gonna pick up some steam. Maybe Karen, don't call me Karen. It's gonna be a movement. Hashtag don't call me Karen. It's gonna be a movement. But damn, that's really fucked up for women that's actually named Karen. Like, if your name is Karen, then I'm sorry that you gotta experience the bullshit from all of your peers, your white women peers, because they doing this to your name. And if you know anything about the black community or black Twitter, it's gonna get worse. All right, there is no way for this to go but down. I promise you. So it is what it is. The next thing that we're gonna talk about, and this show ain't gonna be long because I'm not gonna chop the mic down that long. The next thing is Donald Trump. So this week, Donald Trump came out and he was doing one of those coronavirus brief presses. I don't know what I was trying to say, but and he said out of his mouth that maybe we should try to figure out how to invest in some technology so that we can get the UV rays inside the body so that we can kill the coronavirus, or you can inject disinfectant or bleach or something that will help. He didn't say bleach specifically, but something that could help. And not only did he say that, but people actually listened to him and started to inject themselves with things that were causing them health problems. And that is preposterous to me. First off, I guess it's really hard to just blame everything on Donald Trump. But this is the exact same thing we were having a conversation about when he talked about using that medication that you can get at the pet store. Basically, that Trump's words mean things. He is the leader of the fucking free world. He can't just say shit and expect that people aren't going to follow his every word, because he's crafted his followers to follow his every word. And so now that he's got those followers, he got to be responsible with that dialogue. Now, it don't hurt me for him not to be responsible with it, because if those followers go and drink some hand sanitizer to kill the virus, then that's accurate that it's gonna kill the virus, but it's gonna kill your ass too. So I think that if they all die, I'll be fine. I've been sounding so morbid this show. I'm not really fine with death. I'm fine with death via stupidity. And I'm fine with death via racism. You know, so if you're a racist and the aliens show up and you die because you were racist and you just never relinquish that way of thinking, then I don't have any pity for your absence if that happens. Same for this. You know, if you are to die because of your own ignorance, your own inability to buy masks and take this serious, your own inability to stay in the house, if that happens to be the reason that you die, I'm not going to be as concerned as otherwise. And Donald Trump is just not the authority to listen to. Saturday Night Live did a cold open with Brad Pitt as Anthony Fauci, which is the doctor that's been updating and bringing clarity to a lot of these meetings. And they highlighted that Trump said, no, I'm not going to fire him, which usually means that they ass is finna get fired. Trump always say, motherfuckers not finna get fired when they finna get fired. It makes no sense, but that's what he does. But it just goes into everybody talking about this moment, and because of this, he's called the daily updates on coronavirus stupid, and he don't want to do it, probably because somebody told him that it was going to impact his campaign if he keeps spewing this shit and this bullshit that he's been spewing in this whole situation. So I'm gonna kind of give a timeline of coronavirus, right? We got what's going on with coronavirus, but I'm just gonna give a full rundown of what's happening so that everybody who is listening to this podcast can be truly informed about what's going on in the process of the coronavirus outbreak. Now, this is a timeline. In December 31st, cases of pneumonia detected in Wuhan, China are first reported to the World Health Organization. During this reported period, the virus is unknown. The cases occurred between December 12th and 29th, according to the Wuhan Municipal Health. Chinese health authorities closed the Hunan seafood wholesale market after discovered that wild animals sold there may be the source of the virus. Now, these viruses and all these different things exist in other animals and other species, and it's okay because they can survive with this thing going on inside their body. But when you're cutting, exotic animals and then storing them on top of, or the meat on top of animals that are regular animals like chicken and all of that, blood is dripping down on them. If you don't wash them and clean them right and then butcher them, then you're going to cross-contaminate animals, which will put some disease in another species. And Hunan, the wholesale market in Wuhan, this is not the first time this has happened. I mean, they keep shutting this market down because they keep doing and getting away with bullshit. And basically the billionaire lobbyists get it open back up because it is a $1 billion industry. Finding exotic animals and selling them is big business over there. And they don't want this closed down as much. I think the United Nations or the whole, some big organization gonna have to step in and say, hey, this ain't right. Y'all need to cut this down. Now, the World Health Organization, I guess I'm okay with the criticism that they're getting from America, but there is nothing else in place to substitute the World Health Organization. So the question becomes, what do we lose by disassociating with the World Health Organization, by not paying for the World Health Organization? I mean, it's clear that they cozy up to China. I mean, if you do research on the World Health Organization, but does that really mean that they're acting in the best interest of China? Or are they really an objective force that acts on behalf of everybody that's playing? Did the World Health Organization know what China knew at the time, that China was kind of subduing it, trying not to, make their economy look bad and their system look bad, which they probably used to when stuff with the Wuhan market goes on. But we don't know. But not paying them, making a rash decision based off of this during a pandemic where we may be able to use the help that they have is problematic, but it is what it is. China announces that the unknown this virus is SARS or MERS. This is January 5th. Then Chinese authorities confirmed that they have identified the virus as a novel coronavirus initially named 2019 NCOV by the World Health Organization. Now it's like it was only 7 days between when the coronavirus came out that they reported that we know what it is, and that's not a lot of days. But the question becomes, how long did they have this before it got to the point that they started making it serious? Before this. Wuhan announced the first death caused by coronavirus, a 61-year-old man, which died of respiratory failure. On January 17th, Chinese health officials confirmed that the second person died in China. Then, in January 20th, China reports 139 new cases. Then the first case report confirmed in Japan, South Korea, and Thailand. So this thing started jumping off pretty early. I mean, we're talking about 2 weeks it started getting to another country. January 20th, the National Institutes of Health announced that it's working on a vaccine. 21st, officials in Washington confirmed the first case on U.S. soil. I'm gonna skip down and see what's important. On January 29th, the White House announces the formation of a new task force that will help monitor and contain the spread of the virus. The U.S. state reports its first confirmed case of person-to-person transmission of the coronavirus. Now this is the bullshit that we gonna get into about this. On January 31st, the Donald Trump administration announced it would not entry to foreign nationals who have traveled to China in the last 14 days. Now, this was really good smoke and mirrors for Trump to do something about illegal immigrants regarding the coronavirus, because this is the perfect opportunity. We've got a disease that came from overseas. Now, we can start implementing some of the things that we want to implement about people coming over here, because now the people are scared that we're going to get stuff from other countries. Let's see. Li Wenliang, a Wuhan doctor who was targeted by police for trying to sound an alarm on a SARS-like virus in December, dies of the coronavirus. Following news of Li's death, the topic's Wuhan government owes Dr. Li Wenliang apology. We want freedom of speech. I mean, it's China, so I mean, I guess you could be hopeful about what you're getting, but you're not gonna get what you want all the time. The essence of this situation is that, how long was he trying to sound the alarm, and how long was China really covering this stuff up, keeping us from knowing what's going on, trying to protect their economy? And owing him an apology just might be the simple way out, giving it to him. The U.S. Embassy in Beijing confirms that a 60-year-old U.S. national died. Let's see. And February 11th was when it was named COVID-19. Let's see what else is significant. Let's get closer to the end, because this is a whole bunch of stuff. Look, the White House and Senate leaders reach an agreement on a $2 trillion stimulus deal to offset the economic damage of coronavirus, producing one of the most expensive and far-reaching measures in the history of Congress. Bruh, the word far-reaching gets put in here, but anyway, $1.5 billion of this was for businesses, corporations, and then another $500 billion was supposed to be for small businesses. But man, they gave that shit all the way to the big businesses. And people like Ruth Chris, is it Ruth Chris on Steakhouse, and Shake Shack, and all of these different spots, not even a lot of them, those two are the only ones I know of, got $10 million plus in these loans. Now, they make $500 million a year. Why would they even apply? The perspective from a professional that I know is that the issue isn't the people who requested the money. The way the legislation was written allowed them to ask for money, and they get it. And he said, if the government was giving away free money and the rules had loopholes for me to be able to get it, then I would try to get it. The thing that they should do is write legislation appropriately, so that's not the situation. But that's not what happened with this. It just, a lot of people just went for the money, and a lot of people got it. And I guess the worst part is that Wells Fargo supposedly shuffled people to the front of the line to make sure that they got their shit took care of. Trump says his administration is now recommending Americans wear non-medical cloth face coverings, a reversal of previous guidance that suggested masks were unnecessary for people who weren't sick. Yeah, it is. Masks are unnecessary for people who aren't sick, but wearing a mask for something that is hard to detect. So when you get the flu, you know you got the flu. I mean, you got symptoms. Well, for the coronavirus, you can have it and not know you having it. So wearing a mask is protecting your other people from you. We have to act as if we have it. China reopens Wuhan after a 76-day lockdown on April 8th. On April 14th, Trump announces he is halting funding to the World Health Organization while a review is conducted, saying the review will cover the WHO's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of the coronavirus. Last thing is Chilean health officials announced that Chile will begin issuing the world's first digital immunity cards to people who have recovered from coronavirus, saying the cards will help identify individuals who no longer pose a health risk to others. What I don't know is if you can get it again after you've already had it. I don't know. But in America, we have 367,507 confirmed cases as of a week ago. And now we have 10,908 deaths. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, it's a small percentage if you want to look at it by percentage. But at the end of the day, who wants to sacrifice all of those people that died, not knowing who it may be next? Are you willing to take that risk, that gamble? I mean, I guess so. A lot of people still dying of the flu. So if your logic is that, you know, people gonna die anyway, then I guess if you look at it like the flu, then I guess so. I try not to look at it like that. It's really narrow-minded and whatnot. But I just want to get a coronavirus rundown and kind of just talk a little shit about how we have not done a good job organizing and managing this. And it's so odd to me that the same time the dialogue about black people, you know, suffering disproportionately from this situation, is the same time that they decided we're gonna open it back up. Like, do they really believe that it's impacting black people to a bigger degree that, you know, we can just fix this problem over here in the white community or wherever and let it trickle over to the black community if it does? I don't know. But I don't like the idea that Van Jones and the Surgeon General are saying stuff like, you know, you're going to have to, you know, fix your health first, you know, but that's not the case. You know, it's a whole bunch of systemic stuff that puts us in the situation that we are in. If you don't know about redlining, that is the legal ability for real estate to take white people to one side of town and black people to another side of town. When you separate people in that way, then one side is going to have the clinics and the hospitals and the other side is not. One side is going to have the good education and the other side is not. One is going to, you know, elevate to job positions where they may be able to work from home. The other one is going to be blue collar workers that work every day, hard labor and come home. That's the dynamic that has created a situation. Not only that, but those red line districts that black people were herded into also are food deserts. You can't get fresh food over there. So how do you think that hypertension and diabetes and all of these physical issues came about in the black community? It was because, you know, the way that we've eaten is based on where we live, and what food available is based on where, you know, that environment is. And sometimes we just can't get better food, you know, in those communities. So it's really unfair to look at black people and say, hey, black people, y'all need to do better with y'all health. Y'all, that's why y'all dying. Y'all have all these situations. But it's not like white people don't have all of the same situations. Like, white people drink, white people do drugs, white people have sickle cell and all of these different disorders that should keep them from that shouldn't keep them off the list of being talked about the same way that we're being talked about. We shouldn't be told that we got to do something different, you know, because that really, to be honest, that is the essence of what America has done to black people. Like, it's not, you know, when the conversation about this came up, it was like, okay, well, yeah, no, this ain't systemic racism. This is y'all. Y'all know y'all got some health issues, you know, and y'all got to eat better. You know, that, no, wait, no. We not finna let you have that. This is the same thing with Black Lives Matter. It's like, you know, you're saying, okay, it's not the police, it's you. You should just obey the law and not commit crimes and you won't have these problems. Well, no, there's a systemic problem to why a culture in mass is dealing with the same thing. And let's be honest with ourselves. All of the shit sticks that America drops, black people deal with. You know, black people deal with all the worst of everything. Let's go down the line. Education, black people got the shit end of the stick. Healthcare, black people got the shit end of the stick. Employment, black people got the shit end of the stick. We can even go deeper into it. You know, black people have less CEO positions when you go deeper into employment. Black people have lower wages than their white counterparts when you go into wages, when you go into employment. You know, black people have less promotions when you go in through education. Like, it don't really matter. Talk about some bad shit in America, and black people have been on the shit end of that shit. It's fucked up. And so, just, you know, talking about this, I just wanted to go into a little bit about coronavirus, how we got here. And I'm going to just reiterate, the way that we get out of this is not through just subjectively saying we've been doing this too long. What does too long look like when there is a pandemic out here? You know, what is too short? You know, what is it based on? I need it to be based on numbers, on evidence, on, you know, the past, on what we did about different other diseases, about how the world is going to change now with this coronavirus going on like this, you know. So it is what it is. We'll figure it out somehow. The next thing is I want to talk about Kim Jong-un. We don't really know what Kim Jong-un has going on. The reports are that something is wrong, because clearly North Korea ain't gonna come out and say, our dear leader, beloved Kim Jong-un, is in poor health and in the hospital or dead or whatever's going on. They're not gonna do that. But he missed his grandfather's 109th birthday celebration, which he's never missed since he took power. And so that is one of those patterns that's big enough that if he's not there, something must be going wrong. And also, every single missile test that North Korea has done since he's taken power, he's been at, and they released photos of him at them. And they didn't release a photo of this one. So what they're saying is that Kim Jong-un might have been injured in the missile tests, and hence why they right now think that he might be in a vegetative state for some reason. And I was like, that's interesting. Kim Jong-un been a dickhead. Nobody really fuck with North Korea. You know, I guess, I mean, that's not cool in terms of a humanitarian sense of, you know, you shouldn't wish harm on anybody. But if he was, you know, threatening America with stuff like that, then him not being there ain't the biggest problem. But then again, the enemy that you know is much better than the enemy you don't know. Because the person that's supposed to take his place is Kim Yo-jong, which is his sister. And if you go look up her picture, she looks like a stereotypical bad guy Asian lady in a movie. Like, she looks just cold-blooded. And the idea is that she's probably going to run North Korea worse than him. Because in this past March, she criticized South Korea's presidential Blue House for urging North Korea to cease nuclear weapons testing in an effort to quell tensions in the region. And we all know that Kim Jong-un has not tried to stop any nuclear testing, you know, no matter what he told Trump or no matter what Trump thought he told him. And she sounds like she's just as tough as him. So I guess for the longest, North Korea just going to be a region that just we can't really fool with. We're not going to be able to figure out how to get out of that situation. I'm nearing the end of the episode because I don't have that much more information. I really don't know anything about the NFL draft except that it happened. I'm scrolling down my post to see if anything else happened. All I see is a bunch of Kim Jong-un stuff. Donald Trump with pictures of Clorox next to it. And more coronavirus stuff. So, that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning into this episode. If y'all have anything on your minds, don't hesitate to write in. Let us know what's on your mind and how you feel and what's going on in your life. Follow up on any episodes. I appreciate you calling to Michael, as I always do, for y'all's live listens and the creative titling that you do for your emails. And y'all enjoy yourselves and stay safe out there. I'm out. Holla at your boy.